Everyone thinks discipline is about waking up at 5 a.m., grinding until your eyes burns, forcing yourself through sheer willpower. But that definition of discipline is broken. And that is the reason why most people fail to ever be in discipline and to get their task done on time. Because let's be real, discipline isn't what you think it is. And if you stick with me, I'll tell you what discipline exactly means, how it works, and how you can actually build it in your own life. Not as a boring routine, but as something that gives you more control, more time, and ultimately more freedom. Now, let me be real with you. For a very long time, I used to think that discipline was about forcing myself to do the things I hated. I'd make promises to myself that tomorrow I'll wake up early. Tomorrow I'll go to gym. Tomorrow I'll get this task done. Tomorrow I'll study. But almost every single time I broke that promise. I remember an instance. It was a Monday morning. I was supposed to wake up at 6 a.m. and go to gym. But the alarm rang and I kept hitting snooze until 9:30. And when I finally woke up, I felt so damn worse that you know that feeling, how you feel when you procrastinate for so long. That was one of many instances that has happened to me until one day when I realized that it is not about me being lazy and me being weak. It was about the whole mindset of me. It was about the idea of discipline which I had in my mind. And when I realized that what I believe is discipline isn't really discipline, I started searching that what exactly discipline means, and if what I think isn't discipline, that what discipline is. And I came up to a conclusion. I came up to something which I'm going to explain you now. When people talk about discipline, they usually refer to something called motivation. Now, remember the time when you watched that video and you felt like you're going to change your life and you crashed out after 2 days? That is motivation. It gives you the spark to move immediately. It gives you the feeling that you can change your life, but it dies out after 2 days. Then there are habits. Habits are cool, but let's be real. Habits are muscle memory. They're not something you put your thought into. You brush your teeth. That is a habit. You scroll before going to bed. Yes, my friend, that's a habit too. Habits don't care if it is making you strong or making you weak. Habit is something that just keeps on repeating, whether it is good or it is bad. And willpower? Man, willpower is like holding your breath underwater. You can do it for a while, but eventually you will break. That is the reason why most people relapse into their old patterns, because they're relying on willpower and they're forcing through willpower. And willpower is like a cell, it dies out. It's like the breath you hold underwater. You cannot do it for very long time. You have to come out of the water. You will end up relapsing into your old pattern which you were following up until now. So if it's not motivation, if it's not habits, if it's not willpower, then what it exactly is? Now here's the truth. Discipline isn't something about feeling or about habits. It is connected to something called resolve. It's a commitment. Resolve is that fire you feel deep inside yourself when you decide that you're not going to let anything beat you. When you're not going to let something as small as an app called Instagram or anything as such going to beat you. That fire inside yourself, that is resolve. Imagine this. Your exams are in 20 days. You're tired, you're burnt out, and you're not feeling like studying. Your friends are playing outside. Still, you decide to sit on the table and study because you have to score good, because you've promised your mother, your father, and yourself that you're going to score good. That, my friend, is discipline. Or you're at the gym, you finish 9 reps, and your body is screaming that it can't do. Now, here, you're not going to use your willpower because you've already used it up. There's no motivation now because your body is screaming that I can't do it. Still, you go for the 10th rep. Still, you hit that 10th rep because you've promised yourself that you're not weak. You've promised yourself that you're not going to let that mere rep beat you. That is discipline. Or it's as simple as waking up and going for a run. Not because you want to, because you've tied your identity to it. You say that you're not someone who lays down on the bed, but you wake up and go on a run. That's as simple. That is discipline. As Michael Phelps, the greatest swimmer ever, said, discipline is doing what you need to do even when you don't feel like doing it. That's it. It's not about hype. It's not about luck. It's about deciding what you have to do and then you do it, even if you don't feel like it, even if your body doesn't want to do it, even if your mind doesn't want to do it. You still do it. That is discipline. Once you see discipline this way, you realize discipline isn't being robotic or being strict. It's about freedom. Freedom from your moods, freedom from your distraction, and freedom to live the life you've promised yourself. That's why Jocko Willink, a US Navy SEAL, says discipline equals freedom. And once you get this, life starts to feel different because you finally see discipline not as a prison, but as the key to unlocking your best self. So, up until now, we've understood the concept of discipline. Now, let's see how you can actually build it in your own life. First of all, start ridiculously small. Don't overhaul yourself overnight, like I'm going to study 8 hours a day from tomorrow. Do not do that. Make promises yourself like I'm going to study 20 minutes a day, or I'm going to do just 5 push ups, or I'm going to write for just 5 minutes. Small wins build trust in yourself. So start very small and keep stacking those small wins. Because if you go for something which is very huge and very big, you're not going to accomplish it. And if you don't, you're going to feel failed. But if you choose something as small as studying for 20 minutes, mere 20 minutes, you're going to achieve it. And then you're going to feel good. And that feeling is what going to get you to do it the next day. Next, attach identity to discipline. Don't say that I am going to do this. Say, I am the kind of person who get these things done. Attach your identity to it. For example, if you want to study, then attach your identity to it. Attach it as if you say that I am the person who studies for long hours. I am the person who actually studies, not for very long, but for however long I study, I get things into my mind. Attach that thing. For example, stretching at the gym still counts because you were the person who showed up to the gym. Even if you didn't end up doing all the workouts, you showed up. And that is still a win. That is still a step up from where you were yesterday. Next, design your environment for success. Because willpower, my friend, is overrated. Let your environment do the heavy lifting. For example, if you want to study, keep your books right in front of your table. Keep everything you need for studies, like your stationery, your books, your notebooks, or probably if you use some kind of tablet or laptop, keep it right in front of you so you do not have to put extra effort to get everything together before starting studies. Or the next example is if you want to go to gym early in the morning, get your clothes ready the night before. So when you wake up, you see all your clothes right in front of you. You see your shoes right in front of you, and all you have to do is put on your clothes and get your shoes, and voila, you're ready to go. Because when you make the task which you want to get done easier to start, you are more likely to get it done. If it is easier for you to get to start running, then you'll eventually end up doing it. If it is easier for you to start studying, then you will end up doing it. So make your environment accordingly, and that includes distractions as well. Reduce distractions as much as you can. Delete that Instagram if you can, and if you can't, I'm going to tell you in the upcoming videos how you can use that as well. So let your environment do the heavy lifting and decrease your energy in doing such stuff. Now, next up, use accountability and tracking. Track every single hour you've studied. Track every single kilometer you've walked or run. Track every single page you've written. Because that is, my friend, one thing that's going to put enough motivation, or probably you can say enough happiness, that you feel like, yeah, I've done this thing and now I want to do it more. And secondly, accountability. Tell your goals, share your goals to your parents, share your goals to your friends, because they are going to then ask you that what are you doing for that goal. For example, it is very small. You tell your friend that, dude, I'm going to study for 2 hours from tomorrow. And then next day, if he doesn't see you studying, he'll ask that, dude, you're supposed to study. What are you doing now? Or if you live with your parents, tell your parents that, mama, I'm going to study for 2 hours from tomorrow. And then she'll ask that why aren't you studying? So you'll be held accountable for what you've promised, firstly, and then secondly, you'll be tracking every single thing. That both of these things are going to make you work towards your goal. And one of the most important things is accept imperfections and faults. Because, my friend, you make routines, and when you do not follow 100% of it, you feel like you failed. Now, firstly, the routines you make, that waking up at 5 a.m. and then getting ready until by 5:30, and by then having your breakfast at 6, that never works. You know that. So in the upcoming videos, in the next video probably, I'll tell you how to build systems and how to build an actual working routine. But before that, as of now, you have to accept the fact that you are going to fail. You are not going to be able to follow 100% of what you've planned. So do not aim for following 100% of what you've planned. Aim for getting at least 50% done, because getting 50% of what you've planned done is also a win. Because remember, yesterday you did absolutely nothing. Yesterday was absolute failure. So today you got at least 50% done. You planned to study 3 hours and you ended up studying only 1 hour. Dude, that is still a win, because yesterday you studied almost nothing. So imperfections are going to be there. Fallouts are going to be there. Do not take them as a failure. If I give you an example, I studied 20 days. And now, if for the 21st day, for some reason, probably health, or probably I didn't feel like it, or probably something happened to me and I ended up not doing it, not studying for the 21st day, I'm not going to say that, yeah, I failed. Because I planned to complete it in 1 month and now I'm standing at 21st day and I failed. No, you did it for the last 20 days. And now you failed for once. That does not mean that you failed completely. So drop that all or nothing approach. Do not go for that all or nothing approach, that I'm going to do it all or I'm going to do nothing. Do not do that. At least if you get even 20 or 30% done, it is better. It is still better. You have to keep improving over time. The graph doesn't go like this. The graph goes like this. It gradually increases. It gradually progresses. That is what going to happen to you as well. You're going to gradually progress. So do not obsess over perfection, because perfection is what stops you from getting anything done. Because you do not start. And in the beginning, you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to get 100% of what you promised done. So do not go for the perfection part. Accept imperfection, accept fallouts. Follow all these steps and eventually you'll see your life changing. Eventually you'll see how everything, your perspective around everything is changing, how things around your life are changing, and how you're actually getting done what you wanted to get done. Discipline isn't the end, it's the beginning. And if you want to know what else you have to do to get everything done, if you want more help and more aid in getting your tasks done, follow up, because in the next video, I'll be telling you that part.